Hi, this is Lindsay Wilson, and I'm so excited to be with you today to talk to you about how you can easily cut your hours in half. So I have two babies, a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I used to spend loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of time in my business. Quite frankly, there's this new app that's free. I think it's rescuetime.com. that actually will track your time on your computer, and you too will be like quite blown away by how much time you spend on it. So here is the easy way to take what we've talked about so far and to leverage your time so that you're able to spend more time doing what you want to do in your life. Very often clients come to me with multi-six-figure businesses, and often even 7 figures, but there's a real thread of you get to that $300,000 mark, right, and you don't know what to do. You are working as hard as you can, and all you can see is exhaustion in front of you. And so, quite frankly, very often I have people who transition from one business to another and like leave passive income with the business they had before. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do one more video, and I'll talk to you about how we're doing that, how we're taking people out of their businesses, but allowing them to still provide the service that they have needed to provide. I just realized I was looking in the wrong place for the camera. You would never know I went to acting school. Stage, not film, was my specialty. So I'll look at the camera. But what you can do is, with a sales team, right? And with some lead generation, not need to be that involved in your business anymore, except for the transformation. So without looking at how you can do that with someone else, but with solely you, right? Until recently, I was solely me in my company. Here's how we can do it. So you want to think about your high-end offer, which is from the video before. We talked about how to price it and how to package it. And you want to think about groups. Now, I know that's difficult for many of you. I know that many of the people that I help, like you say group and they say no way, right? Here's the thing. People actually achieve more and grow faster in groups very often than they do on their own, right? If I look at many of the things that I've done in my life, it's been in groups. It's fun to celebrate the big transformations. I mean, I've done some serious inner, deep, personal work. And it's one thing to be in individual therapy, right? And a whole other thing to be in a group. So know that if you were to do, for instance, something where the things that you say all the time, every single time, to almost every single client, were put together in a beautiful fashion, right? In an orderly fashion, in a way that serves not only your clients, but serves you, right? That you could reference instead of explaining every single time what cortisol does to someone's body. You could say, watch week 1, right? And they'd have a recording they could review. I mean, there are just so many benefits to it that it's unheard of. And then you also gave folks the opportunity to speak with you, like do a Q&A. I do a Q&A in one of my programs. We stay there until all the questions are answered, all needs served. It's not about trying to put as many people into something as we can and then not serving them. No, not at all, right? But I often say, this is the 3rd time I've done a Jesus thing in these things, but it's fascinating, right? So even let's think about it this way. So if Buddha did one-on-one with everyone, I don't even know if Buddha did one-on-one. If Gandhi, if Martin Luther King, if you know, any of the people, if Maya Angelou did one-on-ones, right? Where would we be? So there's great force and magnitude if you have a great message to share in doing things that work in groups. Now, the piece that I will tell you that's the smartest piece that I figured out that I spent loads of money on, and here you go. Rolling enrollment is genius. So if people can sign up at any point, that's quite brilliant, because then you don't have to do a launch. Then you don't have to have a big hoopla with affiliates. Then you don't have to do any of those things that, you know, like the, oh, are they going to buy? Are they going to buy? Oh, you know, like, no. Every day in your inbox can be loads of leads that come in and people sign up. So the story about my client started within 2 weeks. And I've had this happen repeatedly. It's interesting. So $80,000 made in the first 2 weeks. We did ads that led to sales conversations, right? Let me lay it all out there for you. And she enrolled people at a much higher price than she'd been enrolling people. Not only was it brilliant in terms of leveraging her time, because if you're doing simply a Q&A once a week, how long can they keep you on the phone, right? I mean, an hour and a half is a long Q&A. If you're delivering high-level transformation in a group program as one of the things that you offer, and it takes you an hour and a half a week, that gives you a lot of free time. Here's the wacky thing. This weekend I thought, I am going to, because I like to look at things from different perspectives, so I thought, I'm going to write up my life based on time, right? Because in a business you have financial goals. But I was like, I'm writing my business plan, and I wish I had it right here. It was written on napkins in crayons in a restaurant with my kids, right? And then I borrowed the waitress's pen, thank goodness, because crayons, after a while, you can't even read what you say. So what if you looked at your time and you figured out how much time ideally do you want to spend in your business, right? And then if you create a solution like this, the other great thing from my clients is I hear constantly how people are serving at a level with people who are really committed and are really getting results, right? Because they've invested in a large way. It's not the same results as if they bought like 10 weight loss DVDs and they never pick up one. If they spend $200 for one DVD, they're probably going to get up and do it, right? And the potency of what you will learn as a teacher, as a coach, as whatever kind of service provider you are, is pretty profound when you answer the call of the people who need you at the biggest level. They will grow you. You really want to have a business that is client-led in very specific ways, right? But I got to tell you, if you're spending an hour and a half, and that's what you're doing in that level of that program a week, and quite frankly, charge $10,000, right? We've covered that. So if you're charging, like, what can you charge $10,000 for, right? If you happen to save people's lives in your business, if your health, if your money, if your, intimacy, if you're anything that you will be put on earth to do has tremendous value. And so you find the biggest transformation. Listen to the prior video. I cry in it. It's so worth listening to because it's the real deal. What, you can get 25 people into your $10,000 class? Do it as an 8-week class, right? That's $250,000 for each 8-week class. Even if you don't do rolling enrollment, you can do that 4 times a year pretty readily. There's $1 million business. And yeah, there's some time for marketing and sales in there, right? But we're going to talk in the next video, in the last video, about how you can get other folks doing that for you in a way that is so congruent, right? When I first heard about people selling for other people, I was like nauseous. And you know what? That's because it pushed up something in me. So I cannot wait to share with you exactly how to do that in a way that feels so perfect that it's unreal. Stay tuned.